Welcome back to Uflix Recap. Today's video is about a 2004 American biographical musical drama film called Ray. The movie is from the real-life story of legendary musician Ray Charles. The film follows the journey of the legendary blues singer who's portrayed by Jamie Foxx from the loss of his vision as a young child to the height of his career in the 1950s and 1960s, as well as his struggles with racism, drug abuse, failed relationships, and his ideas to change the course of music by fusing gospel music and rhythm and blues. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie opens in the year 1948. A bus stops at a rest area in northern Florida as little Ray Charles Robinson, the sharecropper's blind son, boards it. To gain a free ride, Ray tells the prejudiced bus driver he lost his sight at Omaha Beach in 1944 during the war. He moves to Seattle, Washington, and makes use of his unexpected piano skill to land a gig with a nightclub band. The owner of the club quickly starts to take advantage of Ray by requesting sexual favors and managing his finances and career. Ray departs the band in disdain after realizing he's being deceived and cheated. Ray joins a white country band in 1950, and they force him to wear sunglasses to conceal his injured eyes from the audience in fear of losing the people. Ray gets introduced to white powders while they're on tour. Additionally, he experiences horrible memories from his early life. Ray, the older of two brothers, is brought up by Aretha Robinson, a fiercely independent single mother. Ray, who comes from an impoverished household, finds comfort in music. He receives piano instruction from a guy at a nearby shop. At the age of 5, George sneaks into their mother's full wash bin as Ray and his younger brother are playing outside their home. At first, Ray chuckles, believing George is being silly, but when his brother's limbs aggressively writhe in the soapy water trying to escape, Ray freezes in amazement. Despite Aretha's haste, it's too late to save George from the river. Ray's overcome with remorse about his brother's passing, and shortly after, he starts having eyesight issues. He's totally blind by the time he's 7. Despite the situation, his mother instilled in him a sense of independence, and she made him pledge she would never let the world transform him into a cripple. She eventually enrolls Ray at a school for the blind and deaf while crying as her lone son gets on a bus and leaves. Ray asks to be paid in single dollar bills when on the road so that no one can defraud him since he cannot see the paper money notes. Another flashback shows Ray performing with a country music group as the man counts single $1 bills as if there are $20 to pay Ray. Fortunately, a bandmate stands up to insist that Ray be compensated appropriately. A person from Atlantic Records finds Ray as he gains popularity via his songs. The man offers to let Ray sing a song he's composed. Ray's debut single, The Mess Around, becomes a success. A preacher's daughter named Delabea introduces herself to Ray. He marries her after falling in love with her. While Ray's blending of gospel and soul music doesn't sit well with Della, she does acknowledge Ray's evident skill. When Ray hits the road, he meets singer Mary Ann Fisher, who joins forces with Ray. While returning home, Delabea discovers Ray's drug stash in his shaving kit and orders him to stop. Delabea is expecting, but Ray rejects her and leaves. Ray starts having an affair with Mary Ann. Ray recruits a lady trio to become the Raylettes as his famous source. The lead vocalist Margie, Regina King, who instantly captures Ray's attention, and the two start dating. Mary Ann becomes bitter and requests a solo, which Ray grants. Mary Ann decides to leave Ray in his band because she thinks her name has been heard, but not before she throws a brick through the glass of his car out of jealousy over Ray and Margie. A couple more years pass, Ray is performing as a headliner on the road, and one night the band wraps up early. As the club's owner presses Ray to complete the remaining 20 minutes of his set, Ray spontaneously composes the smash song What I'd Say. Ray is growing more and more well-liked in the 1960s. Despite his loyalty to Atlantic, Ray accepts a better offer from another record label and quits on good terms. When Ray travels to Atlanta to perform, he runs across civil rights demonstrations. Ray objects, stating that he won't perform if the black concert-goers are forced to take seats on the balcony. Ray ultimately receives a travel ban from Georgia. About a year later, Ray decides he wants to experiment with his music and adds classical and country music to his style. This combination gave him some of the biggest successes, including Georgia on My Mind, which Margie predicted would be Ray's undoing. In addition, Ray releases I Can't Stop Loving You, for which he gets a standing ovation during one performance. Ray is resting in a hotel room when the cops barge in and take him to custody. They inform him that they are coming to arrest him after receiving a tip that he had narcotics in the room. Despite the fact that narcotics is discovered and Ray is accused of possessing it, he's cleared on illegal technicality since the police lacked a search order. Later, as Margie is becoming unwell, Ray is playing the piano in their hotel room. Since Margie is expecting, she demands that Ray leave Della and his 3 kids behind. Margie is irate after Ray rejects her. As he physically writes Hit the Road Jack with Margie solo, Ray advises Margie to maintain her rage. Margie departs from the Raelettes to pursue a solo career now that she has established her reputation. A few years later, in the early 1970s, Ray and Della Bea are shown relocating with their children into a sizable new home. Della feels uneasy at the new home. For another concert, Ray must travel to Canada, but at the customs office, as he steps off the aircraft, he's detained for heroin possession. As a result, Ray is deported back to the United States by the Canadian government, and his show there is postponed. When the record business is unable to help him, a court orders Ray to attend a treatment facility. The phone rings as Della and Ray argue over this. When Ray picks up the phone, the person on the other hand informs him that Margie has passed away due to a heroin overdose. Ray promises Della that he'd never introduce her to it and that he forbade her from using it while she was around him. Della promises to start sending money to Ray and Margie's child, but Ray counters that he already does so. Ray visits a treatment facility where he has nightmares and withdrawal symptoms. Throughout the film, flashbacks show how little Ray gradually lost his vision 9 months after witnessing his brother's passing. Ray's mother, who is fiercely independent, pushes him to succeed on his own and to never allow someone tell him he can't because he's blind. In the midst of excruciating heroin withdrawals in the treatment facility, a grown-up Ray speaks with his deceased mother, who chastises him for allowing narcotics to impair him. Ray apologizes, but his strong-willed mother won't accept it. When his younger brother George arrives, he informs him that he doesn't hold responsibility for his passing. The film concludes in 1979 with Ray finally giving up narcotics for good and enjoying his greatest success. In the same year, Georgia proclaims Georgia on My Mind its official state song and issues a formal apology to Ray. After Ray sings the song in front of a live audience, Ray, Della, and their 3 adult sons all get cheers as the movie comes to a close. The closing title card reads, "This movie is dedicated to Ray Charles Robinson, 1930 to 2004, who died before the release of this feature film." The movie received many nominations, and the actor Foxx, who portrayed Ray Charles, won 5 major lead actor awards, including Academy Award for Best Actor, as well as the Golden Globe, BAFTA, Screen Actors Guild, and Critics' Choice, becoming the second actor to win all 5 major lead actor awards for the same performance, and the only one to win the Golden Globe in the musical or comedy category rather than in drama. Charles later died of liver disease in 2004. And that is all about this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with such interesting movie recap videos here.